Okay, folks, the most bullish signal has triggered. The most bullish signal of them all has just triggered. I'm not saying it's going to trigger, it has just triggered this week. I'm so excited to do this episode. Let's get right into it. What has been stopping everyone from pumping and making life-changing dosh this time? Why? It's because altcoins aren't running. We know Bitcoin has done 6x, but so can a lot of stocks can do 6x. Altcoins are not running. Why are altcoins not running? Because of something called ETH versus Bitcoin, right? This is it. ETH versus Bitcoin on the chart. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And look at where we are right now. We're almost getting down to the bottom area, right? When ETH Bitcoin bottoms and ETH starts running up against Bitcoin, that spells alt season, right? We all know that. It's just intuitive. It's true because when ETH starts running, then Uniswap, SushiSwap, then ENS, all those coins start running, and then you have Solana starts running because that means altcoins, the big altcoins start running. XRP, Solana, right? Binance, they start running, and then the smaller, the mid caps, and then the small caps start running. That's when an altcoin season is. So far, we've never had one of those run properly. It's ran like 2 months and then stops. So what will make ETH Bitcoin bottom? I've went back and I saw an amazing signal, and it makes every intuitive and economic sense. It's happening. It's just triggered. So that's why I'm so excited to share this news with you guys on what has just triggered. Let me give you a clue on what this signal is. Here's the clue. This is about to happen. And who could have predicted this? Is this bullish enough news for you? And which signal is Pablo using to tell us that this is pretty much certain going to be happening? I made a video about this 4 or 5 weeks ago. Now it looks like it's really happening for sure. Before we get on to all of that, let's first answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Jimenez use? Well, Pablo uses a non-KYC crypto exchange. That means you don't have to show your ID. That means the exchange can't even see who you are. And then, of course, Americans can use it, right? That means the IRS can't see you. The tax office can't see you. CIA, FBI, nobody can see that it's you. In fact, I like them so much, I made a deal with them, Bitunix, that there's over $8,000 right, worth of bonuses just for newbies to join and start trading. Over 1.3 million global users, already. Largest non-KYC exchange in the world, right? If you're watching this video from YouTube, then the link is in the description below. But if you're on another platform such as this one, then basically just go to my profile page, right? Go to my profile page and click on this stand link, right? That's where all my links are. We click on the stand link and it's the first thing that pops up, right? So we see here, Bitunix. Okay, thank you guys. And just keep in mind, only on the Pablo link for this deal. Okay, here we go. The amazing news we're talking about. So we all know how important it is for the Federal Reserve to stop QT and start QE, which means to stop quantitative tightening, right, and start quantitative easing. Quantitative tightening is when they are basically taking money out of the economy, right? That's how much they're taking. And quantitative easing is when they're printing money and injecting that money into the economy. And you can see that. Let me just probably folks can't see the dates on this just yet. Let me squeeze that. Okay. So this is basically, okay, we can see the dates here now. So that is basically, we can see, this was 2008, 2009 financial crisis. The Federal Reserve printed money called QE, and of course we all know markets took off. And then Fed did this QT thing, right, which means taking money out of the market, and the SP 500 and Bitcoin didn't perform very well over there because, they're taking money out of the market. And then when COVID hit, they printed money again, and we all know what happened. Markets went crazy, and now they're again taking money out of the markets. So that's what QT is. Just in a very nutshell explanation. If you want to know what exactly it is, I posted an early episode. This was Pablo predicting in Feb 9th, which is 6 weeks ago, that Fed is about to pump crypto and June end of QT date, right? I said that's too late. Pablo is saying it's going to happen earlier. Okay, why did I come up to that conclusion? At the time when I posted this video, when I made this video, it was basically the reason why was because I said the Federal Reserve has this reverse repo facility, and when the reverse repo runs dry, then they have no more money to buy all those bonds, and U.S. government or Trump just needs to finance $7 trillion, $7 trillion in bonds in the next 6 months. So the Federal Reserve can't just sit there and watch the market crash. So therefore, they have to start to end QT. And now, of course, 6 weeks later, the entire market starts to agree with Pablo. So here is that again. When I made that video, it was like off the charts. Like this is March the 5th. I was making this video when the market was like saying 40% chance, 40% chance. When I was making that video, it was probably, the market probably saw 20% chance, 10% chance. And now everybody agrees it's 100% chance. Oh, 100% chance. They're gonna end QT. And when they end QT, of course, that's a very, very positive development for the markets. Now, what is the signal that I am using to call end of QT? The original video was based on fundamental analysis. It was basically based on the fact that the reverse repos was running dry. Therefore, the Fed needs to end QT, or else the bond market's going to crash. Even the stock market's going to crash. Now, there is a technical signal that you don't need to understand. You just need to look at it on the chart, and it'll tell you when QT is ending. Here it is. Let me show you guys. This is the signal. Okay. This is the signal. It's, if you can just bear with me for 1 second, right? The blue line and the orange line. Orange line is just a 100-day, 100-week smooth moving, simple moving average. When it crosses here, right? This was July, end of July 2019, right? It called the bottom to Ethereum Bitcoin. What is this blue signal, and why does it crossing its simple 100-day simple moving average? Why is that such a big deal? Well, this blue signal is called again, it's the US 3-month yield, 3-month treasury bills yield divided by, see that slash, divided by blah 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 blah. And that number, that indicator simply means the US high yield index spread. Okay, in one sentence, what that means is basically it's the junk bonds yield versus the treasury bonds yield. Like treasury bonds right now is something like 4.2%, 10-year. If you were to buy a junk bond, like a crappy company that's about to possibly go bankrupt, right? The yield is like 3% higher right now. It's like 7 or 8% yield right now. Right? That's essentially what this number means. And basically 3 months treasury yield divided by the spread, right? That number gives us this blue line. For the folks who are interested, basically the lower this number goes, right, it means the more danger there is in the market. That means the US 3-month yield is falling, and that means this number at the back is getting bigger. The denominator is getting bigger. The numerator is getting smaller. Denominator being the yield spread, the high yield spread means junk bonds are blown up. Junk bonds are crashing. Okay, technical stuff aside. So when this triggered, how do we know it's the bottom of ETH to Bitcoin? Okay, when this signal triggered, what is it? What date does that say? It was basically in July, end of July, right? When this triggered. And then what happens here? What happens on this date? September. 2 months later, what happened? Well, 2 months later was the end, September 2019 was the end of QT. Market turbulence, it says market turbulence forced the Fed to end QT in early September 2019. So it wasn't even 2 months. It was like 5 weeks, 6 weeks later, the Federal Reserve ended QT, and we all know how bullish that is. Ended quantitative tightening, ended up taking money out of the markets. Now, you might be like, oh, it's not QE. It's Pablo, it's not QE. So why are we getting excited? Well, yeah, QE is when we have these massive big runs and the market looks great. But you know what end of QT is? End of QT is the bottom of ETH versus Bitcoin. I'll say that again. End of QT is the end of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And you know that means the bottom of altcoins versus Bitcoin, and then altcoins go on a big run, right? And that's literally what bottom of ETH versus Bitcoin is. Let me just show you guys. Okay, just remember that date. Early September 2019, right? Like 5 weeks after that signal fired, basically it was the end of QT for the Fed. Now look at this. What happened in early September 2019 to Ethereum? This is let me just put this on an Ethereum chart. ETH, Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, here we go. Would you say that's the bottom of ETH versus Bitcoin? And then it went on this massive run from what? From like 0.016 to all the way up to 0.087. So it essentially went on like a 6x run against Bitcoin. Okay, so what was this date? 2nd of September. Wow. Do you call that early September? Right, this is 9th of September. Do we see that, folks? Do we see that? So let's recap all of this again. And this is where we are right now. ETH, some people say, oh, ETH is coming home. ETH is coming home. Well, on a chart, if you look at it purely, ETH is getting to this bottoming level again, right? This 0.02 level. From a fundamental economics, why is this called ETH coming home or ETH making a bottom against Bitcoin? Well, also it's because the Fed is about to end quantitative tightening, which is a prelude to start of quantitative easing, which is printing money. They're not there yet. They're still probably 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from QE or printing money. But right now, they are very close. Like on Wednesday, I'm probably expecting the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, to talk about the fact that he's thinking about him. If he's conservative, he'll say he's thinking about ending QT. If not, then he'll say they'll aim to end QT by next meeting, which is May or something like that. So far, Pablo has been quite right on this. And when they end QT, as you know, is when Ethereum bottoms against Bitcoin. And that means altcoins take off from that point on. That is truly, truly the signal of an altcoin season. And it's not much to debate here because Pablo was calling for the end of QT on Feb the 9th, 5 weeks before everyone in the market is saying 100% chance it's going to happen now, right? I was just 5 weeks earlier than everybody else. June, end of QT. I said that's for lazy people. Pablo has done the hard work and research, and I think it's going to happen sooner. So now the market is saying latest by May, 100% chance, latest by May. Pablo is saying we could get an announcement this Wednesday. If not, then sometime maybe in April, right? So not the June date. And for all the Aussies out there, Pablo uses Swiftex exchange. Swiftex, I think, is a nice on-ramp and off-ramp. And thank you guys for watching this. The link to Swiftex is in the description below. Thank you guys for following, and I'll catch you guys for the next episode. Catch you.